The borders and medallions are made using the undercut technique to give the design liveliness, authenticity, and a handcrafted quality. Vladimir, it's incredibly expensive to clad such a huge facade. With Sicis mosaic, the maestro decided to design this round square in the form of a collage of carpets. These carpets were made from marble mosaics. Hello, friends. Today we are in Madrid, and it is from here that we begin our great journey across the Iberian Peninsula, where we will get to know the sites that have used materials from the Sicis factory. Sicis is an Italian factory founded in 1987 by Leo Placucci. He is an entrepreneur and visionary who decided to revive the art of mosaic, a traditional material for Ravenna, and bring it into interiors. Here we will get acquainted with how this material can be applied in real interiors. Of course, I have talked many times about this material, about the new products at the exhibitions, at Sicis, at the Milan Salon, and, of course, in a large report from the company's showroom. However, due to the brightness of the material and its expressiveness, it can sometimes be difficult to imagine how to apply it. So, make yourself comfortable. Today, in this video, there will be a wealth of bright, wonderful examples that will inspire you to create your own new projects. The first place we will visit in the Spanish capital is called the Unico Hotel, and it is located in one of the most aristocratic districts of Madrid. This is Salamanca. Here are the most luxurious boutiques of all the most famous brands. Here are the most luxurious hotels. All the top restaurants, including those with Michelin stars, are concentrated here. Well, actually, the Unico Hotel has something like that too, and the Unico Hotel, as its name suggests, is absolutely unique in its kind and also represents a model of luxury. And, of course, Sicis adds a special refinement to this luxury. Two marble collections are used in the decoration of the public interiors of the hotel. These are Sicis stone and cosmati. Sicis stone is a collection that was inspired by the opus sectile technique. This is indeed a later technique of mosaic making that was widespread in the Roman Empire at the beginning of our era. Previously, the technique of opus tessellatum was used. This involves arranging small hips into a very intricate pattern. So, the opus sectile technique consists of more complex, yet quite expressive geometric patterns, and many basilicas across Italy are adorned with such floors. But the most prominent artists using this technique are undoubtedly the Cosmati family. Sicis has a collection of the same name, which is also used here. The Cosmati are 7 artists who were active in the 12th to 14th centuries and created a vast number of amazing masterpieces, primarily in flooring, but also in the decoration of altars and walls of various churches and basilicas, mainly in Rome, but not only. At the core of their stylistic approach, later known as cosmatesque, are 2 basic designs. These are galoches and quincons. Galoches are quite an expressive border, with circles transitioning into one another, while quincons are a recognizable decor consisting of 5 interwoven circles connected by a border. Well, we also observe such things here. We see these curbs that, firstly, encircle all the spaces in the public areas. This includes the library, lounge, and bar. We also see that this curb connects these expressive circles, which in this case are executed in a rather restrained color palette. It is a black and white scheme with the addition of gray. Naturally, the patterns are made using the highest quality marble, selected with the utmost care. And, of course, it is worth noting that it is not at all necessary to use this decor throughout the entire interior. Standard marble tiles can be used as background tiles. In this case, They are 60 by 60 in a checkerboard pattern. This is a kind of reference to the aesthetic imparted to us at the Draper's Palace. By the way, regarding the restaurant, the first collection of kitchens was presented at the Salwandel Mobile Exhibition, which took place in April of this year, and they drew quite an interesting analogy between the creation of mosaics, mosaic panels, and the preparation of exquisite dishes. First, you choose the very best products that can be found. Naturally, they are organic, natural products. You also apply the same principle when creating mosaic panels. You take the best raw materials, whether it is marble or smalt. Next, you sequentially combine these products, process them in some way, and, of course, adhere to the necessary proportions. The same applies to the creation of mosaic panels. Naturally, the author, the artist, in one case the chef, and in another, Ace the mosaic artist play a fundamental role in what you will get. And I think Ramon Fries, the chef of the restaurant of the same name located in this hotel, has really captured this parallel very well. Perhaps this is why the design of Cosmati is featured in the logo of this establishment. The next stop on our journey is the town of Alhama de Aragon. While Aragon is well understood as a kingdom that significantly influenced the politics of Spain and Europe during the Middle Ages, the situation with Alhama is also clear. A little bit of interest. Alhama or Alhama is derived from Al-Hammam, which is the Arabic name for baths. And this is not by chance, because here, in this place, there are thermal springs that, by the way, were known long before the Muslim invasion of the Iberian Peninsula. They were used by the Romans. However, it seems that the Moors made more active use of them. And, of course, this place could not be overlooked when, in the mid-19th century, it became very fashionable among the bourgeoisie to visit the waters. It was in 1863 that a therapeutic thermal resort opened here. Naturally, it was built in the style popular at the time, known as the Beautiful Era or the White Era, if you will. The popularity of the resort grew, and of course, it expanded. In addition to the original building of the hotel and casino, another hotel complex has also appeared, which connects to the original one via a viaduct. In addition to the hotel buildings, there is an absolutely magical park covering several hectares, as well as a whole thermal lake with a temperature of 28 degrees all year round. In general, there are several dozen different mineral springs here, each with varying water compositions and temperatures. To organize the use of mineral waters, a spa and facilities were created in the main building. And, of course, by the early 2000s, 150 years after the opening of this hotel, a reconstruction was required, in which Sicis participated. A marble mosaic from the One Marble Mosaic Directory collection was chosen for the new cladding. That is, it is a directory or library of classic marble mosaic designs. Marble mosaics were used in those ancient Roman baths long ago, and of course, they are just as fitting here. As for the color palette, classic shades of marble were chosen, specifically beige and walnut travertine, with small inclusions of Nero Marcana and Rosso Verona, which are classic marble shades, such as these. They are laid out both as mosaics and as mixes, as well as in the form of decorative elements that naturally represent designs inspired by the Roman era. These include various borders and medallions. Moreover, again, with themes characteristic of that very ancient era. The borders and medallions are made using the technique of underlaying to give the design liveliness, authenticity, and a handcrafted quality. It is also worth noting that these decorative elements are made from mosaic with a chip size of 1 by 1 centimeter. They all combine very well together, and it is absolutely not necessary for all the joints to match perfectly. Naturally, a special antique treatment of each of the mosaic chips also works wonderfully for this authentic look. After cutting, they are placed in a special drum to achieve this smoothed antique edge. Another important point to note is how the marble mosaic ages. This is a very noble material, so even after more than 10 years since the reconstruction, it looks absolutely wonderful. And these streaks, created by the flows of mineral water, look absolutely natural. And this is a very important property of this material. Therefore, when I am asked whether marble mosaic should be covered or protected, I recommend not doing so. Then you will achieve a nobly aging interior, and it will be absolutely aristocratic. But to verify this for yourself, and not just take my word for it, I recommend that you come here sometime and immerse yourself in this beautiful era. On the way to northern Spain, we will visit another quite remarkable site. This is a shopping and entertainment center called El Boulevard. It is located in the city of Vitoria, which is called Gasteiz in the Basque language. What makes this object noteworthy? Firstly, it uses the material Sicis, which is where it all began in 1987. This is Murano smalt, which is the first to appear in the collection of Sicis. Leo Plackett searched for a long time and finally found a technologist from Venice who helped him organize production and manufacture this wonderful material. The second point that draws attention is the use of this mosaic on the facade. There is a certain logic to it. Firstly, the mosaic does not fade. Secondly, it is not afraid of moisture, which is obvious. And it is not afraid of temperature fluctuations, which, in general, are not uncommon in this area, as there are both frosts and it can also be quite hot and sunny here. The third point is that an individual design has certainly been used here, a one-of-a-kind mix, or rather a combination of gradients that ultimately create a very expressive ornament on the drum of this central dominant feature of the shopping complex. In addition, we see a scene which consists of silhouettes of some people outlined in a contrasting color of the mosaic. It is also worth noting another nuance that is important in the context of Vitoria being recognized as the European Green Capital in 2012 and receiving a Green Award from the United Nations. This material, mosaic citrus, is also exceptionally eco-friendly. Firstly, the glass is recycled. Secondly, no artificial dyes are used in the production of citrus mosaics, only natural ones. And of course, thirdly, the mosaics are very durable. Accordingly, it does not require any special care. It can always be washed if it happens to get dusty. With quality installation, mosaics do not require repairs. And, of course, only this material has a unique sparkling shine. It's a pity, of course, that they ruined everything with that terrible, completely useless banner. Well, of course, some of you might argue, Vladimir, that it is terribly expensive to clad with mosaics. From Sicis, such a huge facade. Naturally, it won't cost hasn't cost just 3 kopecks. On the other hand, if you consider the operational costs that this property will incur over its entire usage period, if another material is preferred, then the price is quite justified. If they use any synthetic material, then the subsequent harm to nature during the replacement and disposal of this synthetic material will be significantly greater than that caused by glass mosaics, or Venetian smalti from citrus. So, friends, we are in Bilbao, in a wonderful city in the Basque Country, literally in a park of modern architecture under the open sky. There is an unimaginable number of masterpieces of modern architecture from the top architects. First and foremost, there is Frank Gehry, Norman Foster, Arita Isozaki, Santiago Calatrava, and many others. And here, a figure who is not quite an architect, but more of a designer, albeit a well-known one, if not the most famous, is Philippe Starck. He participated in the renovation of the building that is behind me. This is a former warehouse of a wine trading company, which has now been transformed into a cultural center. There are many different institutions here, exhibitions are held here, and various events take place. There is also plenty to entertain yourself on a daily basis. At the top, there is a pool, along with bars, restaurants, and shops. Overall, it is truly a remarkable place. And of course, Philippe Starck was involved not only in the renovation of this building and the creation of interiors, but he also worked on the design of the surrounding area. And it was here that the company Sicis took part. The maestro decided to design this round square as a collage of carpets. These carpets were made from marble mosaics. This is a completely custom order. Such items were not, and are not available in the company's range, but it demonstrates their capabilities. At the center of the composition is a fountain, and around it, we see objects in a somewhat enlarged form from the portfolio of the great designer. Here are lamps and mirrors, that is, everything he has ever created for companies involved in interior design. And these interior items are very effectively accentuated by the patterns of these carpets designed by Philippe Starck. They slightly overlap with each other, they have different shapes, and one of the paths leads directly into this cultural center. Considering that this project was implemented quite some time ago, I must say that the marble mosaic on the street, again, in the rather capricious climate of Bilbao, has held up very well. Perhaps, if it is cleaned a little, it will look as good as new. And now we are in the beautiful Lacari. This is in Galicia, in the northwest of Spain, a very picturesque, very expressive region. The city itself is very interesting because it is located almost on a peninsula. Recently, a hotel of equal beauty has opened here, Bald Doubletree by Hilton. It is a top brand of the Hilton hotel empire. The fact that this is a recent project is indicated, firstly, by the architecture, which is very interesting and modern. The finishing of the building is very unusual. It is a combination of black granite and metal. The interiors reflect this as well, because it was in the 20th and 21st years that various types of polishing became very popular. And here, there is a lot of this polishing of polished rosewood. And, of course, brass. The fact that this project is quite modern is also indicated by the use of Vetrite from the company Sicis. Vetrite appeared just a couple of years before work began on the project for this hotel, and it was incorporated here. Of course, it is primarily used here in the artistic panel that decorates the reception desk. And here all the qualities of this material are revealed. Firstly, it is a translucent material, providing very even backlighting, and, of course, this backlighting literally exposes all the nuances of the pattern. As for the pattern, it mimics marble, but it should be noted that Sicis never copies natural marble. Rather, it interprets it. That is, it is some kind of fantastical material that the artist Sicis envisioned in this way. Various treatments also enhance the expressiveness of this texture. In this case, a mirrored amalgam is also used here, which gives the veins a very interesting volume. As for the aesthetics of the panel itself, it generally corresponds to the design of the hotel. These are allusions to the theme of Art Deco, which, again, were very popular in 2020 to 2021, when this hotel was created. And, of course, it is worth noting that Sicis is literally renowned for its artistic work with mosaics, that is, the laying of various panels, designs, and pictures, in the production of which the technique of underlaying is used. And there are also such medallions here, which indicate the public restrooms, a symbol for the women's restroom and a symbol for the men's restroom. There is also a similar medallion for the restrooms for people with limited mobility. The mosaic framing also features a mirror. But what attracts my attention the most is the sliding door to the restroom area, as different techniques have been applied there. There is also a decorative element, an artistic mosaic combined with the same Vetrite. And here we see that Vetrite can have absolutely different textures. For instance, while the texture at the reception desk resembles marble, here the texture is more delicate, more sophisticated, and silver coating is also used, which is a modified mirror that serves as lenses for glasses. By the way, Sicis has a great story with these glasses, as there is a whole collection of designer panels that are called shades, and shades are, in fact, sunglasses. Overall, the hotel is very elegant. This applies not only to the public areas, but also to the rooms. And I highly recommend that you visit, first of all, Lacari. Secondly, Staying at this hotel will inspire you both from the perspective of the history of this beautiful city and from the perspective of interior design. And, of course, the amazing products from Sicis. Friends, let's move from the north of Spain to the south of Portugal to the province of Algarve. Here, in the renowned resort town of Albufeira, is the hotel complex Spine Cliffs. This is a 5-star complex, and a 5-star complex, of course, must have a spa. And a good 5-star complex is naturally decorated with mosaics from Sicis. Everything here is absolutely wonderful because classic Murano smalt is used from this remarkable company. In order to produce it, I would like to remind you that Sicis is the only mosaic manufacturer located in Europe. At one time, the owner of the company found a master in Venice who developed the recipe for him, and since then, the mosaic has been produced in the town of Ravenna. But first, a little about the spa. Through an astonishingly magical corridor, you enter the thermal oasis. By the way, the panel in the corridor is also made from a mosaic from Sicis. This is a custom mix that was specially designed for this project. Several shades of blue and turquoise are used, along with an iridescent mosaic. Featuring metallic foil, the exact same mix is used for the decoration of the pool, and as a result of this color combination, the water takes on an astonishing azure hue. By the way, inside the pool, there are hydromassage lounges, which are also finished with the mosaic from Sicis, and it is important to pay attention to one technical detail. The fact is that the chip in the mosaic is very small and very thin, which allows for very smooth transitions from one plane to another. That is, the rounding does not have such typical ribbing, and the seam on these roundings remains practically the same. That is, it does not expand, which happens, for example, in very thick mosaics or in mosaics with larger chips. In general, it is the ideal material when you need to create curved surfaces or transitions smoothly from one plane to another. And, of course, the corners also turn out to be quite neat. The rounding of the pool edges is also done using the same technology. It should be noted that, in general, the selection of materials is very good. The mosaic pairs beautifully with the white marble that has grey veining. This is a local variety known as tiger skin. Additionally, a beige shade of local Portuguese marble is used for the floor. The relaxation area is equipped with decorative niches, which are also finished with the same mix of Sicis mosaic and blend very well with the warmer shades of wood used in the decoration of this space. Naturally, the mosaic is also used in the showers, where the so-called experience showers are located, as well as in the changing rooms. There, by the way, a warmer mix has been used with shades of beige and brown, as well as with inlays of mosaic featuring gold foil. Overall, it is indeed a very interesting project that can truly provide you with a sense of tranquility. In fact, Serenity Spa translates to Spa of Tranquility. Well, I also hope that you indeed enjoyed our tour with Sicis through various projects located on the Iberian Peninsula in Spain and Portugal. Sicis materials are diverse and can be applied in various areas. This includes both the spa and bathrooms, as well as floors in some grand spaces or even in wonderful restaurants. These are thermal treatment facilities, and of course, various outdoor areas. Facades can be finished, and landscape design can be created. Sicis offers a vast array of possibilities in terms of materials, including smalt, glass, and unique vitreous materials, as well as various type sand. Finishes of natural stone. If you want to learn more about the finishing materials collections from Sicis, I have a separate film that I recommend watching. In general, I recommend paying attention to the entire universe of Sicis because it is now not just finishing materials, not just mosaics. It is also a full-scale, comprehensive furniture and interior collection that includes lighting, wallpaper, carpets, and floor coverings. In general, everything that is necessary to create a truly beautiful, harmonious, and most importantly, luxurious interior. And one more announcement. This year at the Chairsire exhibition, Sicis presented a full collection of bathroom fixtures. There will be a separate report on this, so don't miss it, and to do so, subscribe to the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please write something nice in the comments, and of course, share it with your friends so they can also learn about the wonderful opportunities in the world of Sicis. Thank you. Goodbye.